All right, what's up, my brothers? It was recently brought to my attention that there's an article that came out on a study with the correlation between menopause and divorce. So, I thought I would dive in this because it's quite interesting. Let me just define menopause for those of you that are newer to the notion. It's the time that marks the end of your menstrual cycles. It's diagnosed after 12 months without having a menstrual period. Menopause can happen in your 40s or 50s, but the average age is 51 in the United States. Menopause is a natural biological process. Now, here's some of the symptoms for those of you that might be younger or may not know what menopause is. Irregular periods, vaginal dryness, hot flashes, chills, night sweats, sleep problem, mood changes, weight gain, slow metabolism, thinning hair, dry skin, loss of breast fullness, blah, blah, blah. And then it talks a little bit more about medical doctors and so on and so forth. So this was a study done in the United Kingdom. I've highlighted a few points of it. What I'll do is I'll link it in the description of this video if you guys would like to read the whole article. It states, new research released to coincide with World Menopause Day cements that there's been a long assumed but never proven that the menopause has clear and negative impact on divorce, separation, and relationships. Now, this correlates very distinctly with where a lot of marriages fall apart, where the knot is untied. Usually after the kids have hit their 20s, they're out of the home and she wants to move on with life, and the nest is empty and she's generally fed up or bored of him. Goes on to say, a survey conducted by the Family Law Menopause Project and Newson Health Research and Education shows that 7 in 10 women, that's 73%, blame the menopause for the breakdown of their marriage. A further 67% of the 1,000 women taking part claimed it increased domestic abuse and arguments. Now, it doesn't say whether it was amongst both parties or between her to him or him to her, but there you go. Sadly, only 1/5 of those women had sought support to talk to an expert because they didn't at the time think it was a contributing factor to the breakdown of the relationship. With an estimated 13 million women in menopausal age, 1 in 4 of them is having severe symptoms. Symptoms I mentioned earlier. Goes on to say, the study reveals that despite almost 80% of respondents admitting that their symptoms put a strain on their children and family life, only a third had been offered treatment or seeked out HRT. HRT is hormone replacement therapy, which is a slightly different cocktail for women than it is for men. Men generally get testosterone, DHEA, sometimes an aromatase inhibitor. I can talk a little bit more about HRT for men in a separate video, but actually most of these clinics that I'm aware of more specifically deal with women than men. About 2/3 of their clientele are women. And the guy that I deal with actually, he's let me know that it's actually pretty easy to balance women's hormones reasonably, and the benefits are quite strong. Like I said, it's a different cocktail, but they can offset some of the changes in a woman's hormone panel and her mood by supplementing her monthly regimen with some hormones. The survey goes on and says the majority, 86% of respondents, reported they did not feel comfortable raising the issue of menopause discussions with their lawyer. I'm not sure why it would be relevant for a woman to discuss menopause with her lawyer. It's a medical issue. You deal with your medical practitioner or a clinic that deals with HRT. Law should have no place in medicine, especially in family law, in my opinion. 97% stated that their lawyer did not even raise the issue or explore how menopause may affect the case when it came to relationship dynamics. Here's what got funny. Nearly 76% thought that family lawyers and judges need training in respect of menopause symptoms so they know how to sensitively deal with it and factor it in their cases. One of the aims of Family Law Menopause Project is to raise awareness, blah, 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 blah. There's a quote over here. It says, of deep concern to me is that more than half of the respondents said that menopause had or will make it harder for them to save for retirement and or reduce the ability to save for the pensions. So families are affected. Men lose a substantial part of the wealth, sometimes access to the kids, and the statement here basically is women most effective because of menopause. It's interesting that accountability and women still go together like oil and water. I still remember that scene from that film with Jack Nicholson where he was walking to the elevator. I think it's called As Good As It Gets, and the woman runs up to him to interrupt him and says, "How do you write women so well?" And his response is, I think of a man and I take away reason and accountability. Like I said, the title of the article caught my attention because it deals more specifically with the lack of accountability. It's women blaming a natural condition that happens to all the gals, by the way, at some point in their life when they run out of eggs. So again, guys, a lot of these symptoms, a lot of these situations where women deal with the strong or severe conditions of menopause can be mitigated dramatically with hormone replacement therapy. It's a treatable reasonably treatable medical condition. Men get treatment all the time with testosterone replacement therapy. For women, like I said, it's a slightly different cocktail, but a cocktail that works nonetheless. So I find that very, very interesting. We're getting divorced and it's all because of menopause, and I don't know what to do because of it. I'm a victim, boo-hoo-hoo. Guys, it is what it is. This is something that you're going to have to contend with if you're in a marriage or over a long-term basis. So guys, what has your experience been in this situation? If you had been divorced, going through divorce, are currently going through divorce with a woman that's premenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal, how did that go for you? I'm curious. I'll be looking out in the comments for your response. I'm also wondering how receptive she was if you brought up the idea of hormone replacement therapy to her. Like I said, the cocktail can be very, very useful. The doctor that I deal with has told me in no uncertain terms, women respond very, very positively to hormone treatment when they go through menopause. It is what it is. You know, men and women age. As women age and they get older, they stop dropping eggs, they run out of them, their hormone panel changes, and they suffer some consequences as a result of that. It's unfortunate that the knot can be untied due to, or maybe blamed by, menopause or some symptoms around it, severe or light. But it's interesting nonetheless that the survey respondents basically say the judges in the legal system need more training on how to be more sensitive towards us, and it's not my fault because of this condition. I got divorced and untied the knot, and perhaps even ruined a family and robbed a man of his wealth. Guys, I should also mention I have a course on divorce. It's called the Unplugged Alpha's Guide to Divorce. So if you're untying the knot in the process of contemplating it, do it properly so that you don't lose the farm. It's an inexpensive way to do it properly, and it certainly helps the person in the relationship that is the breadwinner the most. Link to that is in the description below. See you guys later. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you